The First Descendant is a game we've been eagerly anticipating the release of because it actively defies ESG, and it's simply made by a team of developers who actually care about their customers in delivering us a really good looking product. But now that we're only a day away from launch, they've released the final character trailers, and everybody is seemingly praising this game. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I have to talk a lot on this channel about companies being ESG compliant and focusing on pushing DEI in their products, going down a checklist and checking off as many boxes as possible so that they can continue to get Vanguard and BlackRock funding. But there are developers out there who do not care about any of that and are simply trying to create a new unique game that they feel passionately about, and one of those is the First Descendant. This has been a game that has been on my and many other people's radar for a long time because when we first saw the initial trailer, it looked beautiful, and obviously there are a lot of games that get these crazy cinematic trailers and then they come out and they're absolutely junk. The gameplay isn't fun. Really, the beauty is all the game has to offer. And while I want a game to be pretty, I also want it to have some kind of substance because I'm not buying a movie, I'm buying a video game. But this game, at least from what we have seen leading up to release, really does have it all. And one of the main reasons why people have been praising it is because we do not expect this type of content from Western developers anymore, but this is actually from a group of Korean devs, people who are, again, not afraid to just create what they want to create and highlight the beauty in life. Very strong, attractive, masculine men and very feminine, dainty, beautiful women. And obviously, when it comes to these character models, they are a very big selling point. They're not all that matters, but it is very, very easy to catch people's attentions when you are saying, hey, we actually have feminine looking women and masculine looking men, especially when you have to compare so many games to Western garbage that's releasing, like Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. But yeah, I mean, we finally have a few new character trailers, and while I cannot show them all because this would be a very long video, they have been pumping out as much promotional material on their social media at First Descendant on X, and they've done a really, really good job of trying to get people interested in what they're creating. They really know how to highlight the best assets in this game, and also, again, besides the character models, this just looks like a lot of fun. Each character has a very distinct set of moves and a very distinct play style. And keep in mind, this is a third-person co-op action RPG shooter, but it's also free to play, which I think is what, has people the most worried, is because when it comes to free-to-play games, unfortunately, a lot of the time, they are pretty poorly monetized. We actually still really don't know the scope of the monetization. Now, the game, when I'm recording this, does release tomorrow, so we will obviously know, but each character has such a different set of moves, and honestly, I've seen a lot of comparisons to things like Destiny and Anthem, and this looks like what we really were expecting out of something like Anthem. It wasn't the worst game ever, but it definitely was a letdown. And this just seems to highlight kind of the abilities that we expected, the variety that we expected. And also, this is coming out on every major platform: Steam, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, and Series X and X. So it is going to be very easily accessible for people. And yeah, I mean, in the comments, people are commenting things like, this looks great, I'm so excited, Necro vibes, this might just be my main. She's my main. This is who I'm gonna play. She's absolutely bae. Mommy. I mean, people obviously simping, but another character is Viessa. I think that's how you say her name. She has the abilities and skills to freeze her opponents, and boy, oh boy, in this character trailer, did they truly highlight all of her best assets. They were not afraid to try to market this to a group of people they knew would show up, like myself. I'm gonna be downloading this. this. I'm gonna be playing it and giving it a chance. And people are so happy with what they've seen, saying things like, please give your design team a raise, feminine characters, amazing outfits, and heels. This is exactly what I love to see. And I'm perfectly fine with seeing female characters in full body suits, showing no skin. I am okay with that. Look at Eve in Stellar Blade. She did have quite a few outfits that were not revealing at all, but she still looked amazing. But at the same time, we have to sit here and praise developers when they're creating content that looks this good because it's such a rarity at this point. And when we got the kind of main trailer about a month ago at this point at Summer Games Fest, it was also received very positively. As you can see, 6.4 million views, 22,000 likes to only 646 dislikes. People saying things like, whoever was responsible for the direction of this trailer, the editing, sound design, they need a raise. This was put together so beautifully that my mouth was left open, and it was a really good trailer. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the song just because it's been used in so many video game trailers over the years, but besides that, it does actually look like a fantastic game. And people are also saying things like, I don't know if anyone else remembers the old Paragon trailer, but this gives me the same vibes as that, giving me a bit of nostalgia, honestly. I like it. For the real ones, one of the devs live streamed this from the crowd at Summer Games Fest on their official channel, shaking in the crowd when it came up on the screen live. You could see the passion in that guy. Hats off. This is what we want to see with developers, passionate individuals who are creating products that look like they actually deserve attention. We hear so often now from Western developers that they deserve sales, that they deserve attention. They don't deserve anything, but it's passionate people like this who deserve attention. I know they also have done so many, developer basically Q&A live streams trying to answer questions, trying to get people lots of information and ultimately get people hyped, and it really has worked. And yeah, we were talking about this game months ago because of ESG. This was a tweet from back in March. It says, Vindictus Defying Fate joins Stellar Blade and the First Descendant as upcoming games that resist ESG and allow women to be feminine instead of having a dog's face and man's body. I miss when femme fatales weren't being downgraded by sweet babies. So yes, Vindictus Defying Fate is also a game that is on my radar that I'm keeping an eye on, but it seems like the First Descendant did not receive as much backlash as something like Stellar Blade, though I'm sure as it actually releases and the days go on, we are going to see some journalists complaining about how attractive the characters are. I'm sure they will try in any way, shape, or form they can to attack a game like this simply because it does not focus on providing equality, inclusion, representation. It just simply has characters that these developers felt passionate about creating. They weren't going down a checklist and checking off as many boxes as possible, and we know so many activists in the industry hate that. So I will be keeping my eye on this, and I do plan to play it and give it a shot. I do hope it turns out to be as good as the teasers and trailers and all of the marketing material has been so far. But only time will tell, but for now, that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.